We're just taking that out. I was waiting until the one went away. That's what I was waiting for. Fine. Hello and welcome to the Mental Funny Bone, Becoming the Gaster Girls.
Well, you're just mad.
I want you to stop the recording and start over.
No,
All right.
You start your intro over.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Mental Funny Bone.
Why?
I keep wanting to say growing up gaster. I don't know. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Mental Funny Bone, Becoming the Gaster Girls. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Christine. A big part of this podcast is discussing mental health, but please know that we are by no means licensed mental health professionals. We will be simply offering our perspectives based on personal experiences and encouraging listeners to seek professional help when needed. Various mental health resources are listed in our show notes.
Wonderful. Now, I will say it again. I think we need to make that simpler.
Right. That seems like an activity we could do when we're not recording.
Just stating it for the second episode in a row. Just stating it, which means you need to do that.
Right. Sorry. I keep missing
Okay.
the hint. Mm-hmm. Let's get into some fan mail, you guys. I don't know what about our podcast over the past 16, now 17 episodes has made you think you can go a week without telling us how amazing we are. I don't know if maybe we don't say the email address enough. So it's gastergirls@gmail.com.
Yeah, Funny Boner Kim D cannot carry you all on her back.
Right. We need constant positive reinforcement. And I know that we didn't earn it last week with an episode entitled Mailing It In. We did what we could.
I'm telling you, I listened to it and I thought it was perfectly fine.
It was a half hour, it's a little mini boner.
Yeah, that's enough on its own. Just calling it a mini boner.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. If you're not getting the hint, send us emails, gastergirls@gmail.com. We like them. It makes us very happy. Some of them have made us cry in the best ways possible. So we really like those. So give us, I don't know, maybe send us an email that explains what else we need to do to get you to send more emails. I don't know. What do you want?
Or tell us what you're buying at the grocery store, sort of anything. Anytime I open up that email and it isn't just constant spam from these mailing lists that we've accidentally signed up for, I think we're pretty happy. Anytime it's someone's name and not .com, here's more stuff for you to buy, I think that we're happy. All right. Also, in an effort to get more funny boners, Sarah and I have designed, we are going to design business cards that we can hand out to our friends and family and waiters and waitresses, people we generally interact with, people we bump into accidentally on the street. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. Have a card for my comedy mental health podcast.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere I go, I'm just going to make it rain. Make it rain fucking business cards.
Oh, good gravy. All right. So if you are associated with us on Facebook, then you might have seen that our friends at March 4th have some t-shirts and some sweatshirts and some other merch available. So we will, in this week's show notes, also add the link to their shop so that you can go and support them. We highly recommend it. Ed and Jackie are quality people. They were our first interview, which should be coming out next week, I think. By the time I edit it and take a look at it, you might remember our friends Jackie and Ed. They were our first interview on Bare Bones Banter, which that episode should be coming out here within the week once I get it all fixed up and edited and ready to go. So big shout out again to Jackie and Ed. We'll throw that link into the show notes and you guys can go and order some stuff.
And even if you don't need the stuff for yourselves, you have the option to donate crew necks. I think that's a great option. I know that we donated a few collectively.
So again, support our friends at March 4th. We're getting ready to do our second interview for the Bare Bones Banter. So look for an update on that in a couple of weeks. So we should get that on the books, and then we'll be able to release episode 2 of Bare Bones Banter with the Mental Funny Bone. Wait till you see the logo for that one. It's pretty hot.
It is. It's awesome. I love it so much.
All right. So let's go on to Weekly Catch-Up Corner /entertainment as our second segment. So in weekly catch up corner, the reason I might be so irritable right now is because it's 5 o'clock and the Vyvanse is all done. So even though I was like, oh, I feel like a normal person, clearly the fact that I felt so much anger 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, you were pretty angry at a very unnecessary thing to be angry about.
Right. Maybe I should stay in my office until 6:30 every day, grounded until I'm a decent human being again.
I'm not sure that's necessary.
On the upside, I did 3 proposals today. So who's a good worker? It's me.
Yay, work.
Speaking of jumping back into work after vacation, I had 289 emails to read, and that took me 2 days because I looked at them, but didn't really come up with action plans for them. So that took me a couple of days. Big shout out to my coworkers. If you're listening, Harish and Stacy, God bless you both. Thank you so much for taking care of shit while I wasn't there. It was just nice to be able to be on vacation and unplug as much as I did. So kissing noises for you guys.
Kisses. I had 100 emails and they were fairly easy to get through because I just group them by subject and look at the last one and then toss everything else away and then go from there.
Right.
Everything's in this thread from the last one. And if I miss something, somebody didn't respond properly. And I'm really not that important.
I'm really not either. So the post vacation depression is real. Like
PVD.
I didn't get to go to the beach yesterday or the day before. There was no delicious crabs or prepared meals for me to eat. There's not a shit ton of Gatorades in the fridge. It's just so boring. I had to go grocery shopping again. I went out on the boat and forgot to put sunscreen on my nose, just my nose.
Yeah.
So I look like I've been drinking for 50 years.
Yeah. Red nose.
Ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to come back. I only cried like once though, I think. So that's pretty good. Like I normally spend a good 24 hours just crying when we get home. I don't know if our little stop in the middle on the way home, I'm definitely glad that we did that. We played some cards in the hotel with mommy and daddy. I feel like that kind of broke it up and I wasn't totally depressed by the time I got home. I'm not sure if that helped, but yeah, it hasn't been as bad as it normally is. And I was even like zen at work today. Yeah, really calm, chill.
Like I had all the emails and I also came back to a unplanned trip to Boston. I was supposed to go to Boston today and tomorrow, but in following up with the client, they were like, oh no, don't come up, no worries. So I had that emotional roller coaster of shit. Now I have to pack a suitcase and go to the airport. Oh, and now I don't have to do that. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that's contributing to the depression. And I don't know if it's having to go or not having to go that's making me depressed. Like at first I was like, what a pain in the ass. And then I'm like, it's at least I have the TV out of myself and I can go to bed legitimately at 7:30 and no one's going to give me a hard time.
My favorite things about travel.
What was that? I missed part of it.
I said my favorite things about travel.
Having the remote control to myself and being able to go to bed at 7:30. I've even quit having the delusion that I'll be able to catch up on work while I'm out of town because I won't. I'll do the stuff I have to do during the day, eat dinner, and go to bed because that's what I like.
Put on forensic files and
right to sleep.
Read a little bit and then go to sleep.
Yep. That's what I look forward to. So I'm not sure that I'm sad I didn't get to go or that I had to go. Both of them.
I can see the confusion. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit half and half.
Both. We'll call it both and be done.
I think that's good.
Hopefully, I'm looking forward to the post-vacation depression passing. Hopefully by Friday, because we got plans on Friday, me and you.
We do. We have big plans on Friday.
Do you want to tell them what we're doing, or should we save that for next week?
I think we could tell them we're going to a big soccer game. It's so big and so exciting that I couldn't remember who was playing yesterday. And I had to look up events at Heinz Field.
It's Acrisure Stadium now.
Whatever it is. I put in Heinz Field. It still came up. Yeah. And so we're playing, Liverpool is playing Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis' soccer team is coming over. I think they're
playing Real Bettis. Swear to God. Right.
I was like, what? I think that's right.
Yeah, it's real Bettis. Or at least I'm sure that's not how you say it at all, but that's what I read every time. And I was like, "Oh, and who are you rooting for?" He was like, "Liverpool." And I was like, "Okay, that seems right." Like, why? He's like, "I don't know, it sounds better."
I can't wait to get a Jerome Bettis t-shirt.
And then I was like, "Should we
One of
get
those
Liverpool
scarves.
t-shirts?" Like I looked on Amazon and the t-shirts were over $15 and I was like, "Yeah, we're good. We're just going to wear whatever."
I don't know. I have to look up and see what color the real Bettis team is. I think they're yellow.
Red and
Find my
yellow? I don't know. I'm not
find me a
sure.
nice
But
yellow scarf.
Owen was wondering where we were sitting. I said,
Oh,
I
we got
do not
shitty
know.
seats.
The shitty seats were still expensive. So, I mean, I guess that's saying something for soccer. Like people in Pittsburgh are actually going for it. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah,
Maybe. Who
I'm all
knows?
in. Even
So,
if it's a team I've never heard of. I have to send a quick email or text message to the random stranger I met when David and I were in the Bahamas. And we ended up at the Irish English bar, the
oh,
UK bar,
yeah.
watching a Liverpool game. And random strangers hated me, except for this one dude
Why?
because Liverpool won. And he was like, "We're coming to Pittsburgh." And I was like, "Fab, I'll be there.
Excellent.
Are you
Are
going
we
to
going to
be
meet
there?"
up with him
So,
for a pint?
yeah, I'll send him a text and be like, "Hey, do you remember me?
Super
I was
weird.
this slightly intoxicated girl at that random bar in the Bahamas." And then I think this kid was from Bermuda. And
Oh,
I pulled a page out of your book and I was like, "Wait, aren't we in Bermuda?" He's,
yeah.
"No, we're in the
No.
Bahamas." They're different.
I would think they're the same.
They start with B.
I would think
They're
they're the same.
tropical.
I read it seemed like a really great explanation about the UK, or the difference between England, UK, and Great Britain.
Okay.
And it seemed, I don't have anything to lay on you because it seemed like, wow, that makes sense. But do you know what I didn't remember?
No,
Anything
what
that
it
I
was.
read. It's still, because I think I was like, that's fucking dumb. That's fucking dumb. I think that's
Like,
really, as I read it, I was like, that's stupid. That doesn't even make sense. That's dumb. And therefore, I didn't retain it.
are you mad because everything's a country?
Yeah, I'm mad because England is a country, Great Britain is a country, but they're combined. Like, what? It's dumb. It's dumb. It should be England is a part of Great Britain, but England is still its own country. I feel like England should just be the capital of Great Britain, right?
Capitals are usually cities.
Doesn't matter. That's
Okay.
then it should be a city. It should be a city.
Like a city in England.
Yeah. Like just the city England. And then London can be just a little town in the city of England. It's dumb.
Where
It's
did,
dumb that England is a country within a country. It's dumb.
right, moving on. Thank you for sharing that you had read an explanation that you enjoyed but couldn't remember. I can't believe you did 5 minutes on that. Cut off.
And then I read it and was like, yes, nope.
Real Bettis.
Yeah, isn't it? Bettis.
Jerome Bettis. Makes
Maybe he'll
sense.
be there.
Oh, man, that would be amazing. If he played,
Oh yeah,
he was a
that would be really
goalie.
awesome. That would be
Amazing.
fantastic.
All right,
Mhm.
let's talk about growing up Gaster.
Okay.
Remember the good old days where we would have a Kennywood picnic, an Elizabeth
Oh yeah.
Forward School District Kennywood picnic?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we would get the day off school, and the
Hmm.
entire school district, all of the elementary schools, even our little Catholic school, would participate in the Kennywood picnic day.
Yep.
And for the longest time, I think until I was probably a junior or a senior, you had to take money with you to school and buy tickets.
I feel like
Because
I did that the whole time.
and the tickets were how you got on the ride. Some rides were like 5 tickets, and some
Oh
rides were
yeah, yeah.
3 tickets. And you had to carry this package of tickets around with you at Kennywood.
I thought you meant the okay, yeah. That for a while I do remember that.
Do you
I
not?
thought
Do
you
you?
meant like
Did you?
the entrance ticket because we eventually moved to the all you can eat. No, all you can ride
All
all
you can
day.
eat. All you can.
I say that because I want that to happen because it's $9,000 to get into Kennywood now, and all I want to do is eat. Like I'll legit give you like $30 just to let me in, and I'll still pay for all the food. I just want to get in to eat. Okay, maybe I'm not going to give you 30, but like I'll give you 20 so I can get in and just eat all the food. But I'm not giving you 1,000 so I can come in and eat a fucking corn dog. Just a
Maybe we should
food
just write to
ticket.
them. We should write to them and be like, "Hey, do you have a thing where you can give me like an armband, an orange armband that says
Yeah.
I can't go on any of the rides, but I can
Mhm.
eat all of the potato patch French fries. I can stuff in my fat face."
Yeah, I think that should be, there should be some way that I
Hmm?
could get in just to eat food. Maybe play a
Funnel
game or two.
cakes. Maybe you would pay for that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
funnel
Anyway,
cakes.
of our youth, Kennywood of our youth.
Hmm.
So you had that envelope full of tickets, and the rich kid next to you would have gotten like 1,000 tickets, and then there
That's
I
right.
would be with like four. I would got like the minimum number you could buy, and Nita would be like, "And when that's gone, it's gone. Don't come
It's
asking
gone.
for more
Hmm.
tickets."
Yeah.
So you had to pace it out. And you would also have matching outfits with your friends for the day. I remember the one year I found the cutest sweater on sale at the Gap.
That's why I gave you the look I did.
Sweater. I bought a sweater to wear to Kennywood, and it matched Jenny Stein's t shirt. And I think Jenny Vallejo wore like a tank top. Everybody looked real cute, and I was wearing a sweater. And it was
How did the
hot.
sweater work out on the Raging Rapids?
Just like it ended up being a dress. Like it was down to my knees. Like it
And
just stretched
super,
out,
super heavy.
super wet, super heavy, and then it would never dry. And the water goes down, and as it went down past the shorts, it just got sucked into the shorts more. So the shorts never dried. Like the chafing,
I was just going to say chafing.
even in high school when I had skinnier thighs, like the
Hmm.
so painful by the end of the day. And you're not giving
Yep.
up. It's not like you're going to quit walking around. Because what if you run into Steve Large and he wants to ride
Hmm.
the Monongahela Monster with you? You're going to hang around at Kennywood until 11 o'clock when that possibility completely disappears.
Looking like a drowned fucking rat.
Plus, I had and only parts of your hair would get wet on Raging
Mhm.
Rapids. So you would
Yep.
try to save it. And I think if you guys are picturing 1980s mall hair, you've got it right. This is what I had to work with. And half of it would be down, and you would just try to push it up with your fingers in the bathroom.
I
Eventually,
wish I
you
could
had to buy
find
a
some
sailor
Kennywood
hat.
pic. Do you think mommy and are there pictures in the albums? I can't remember the albums.
I have to
We're gonna have
look.
to bust
I'm
them
looking up
out.
at the bookshelf because I think there's a series of Kennywood pictures in there. I'll have to dig them out. But I think, yeah,
Okay.
I think that's why we bought the sailor hats. Not because the sailor hats were super cool, but our mall hair got wet and we had to cover it.
See, those sailor hats, they were only cool when I was younger. Like when I got older, sailor hats were out.
You're younger than me. They were
Yeah.
still cool when I was in high school. Maybe not so much junior, senior year, but definitely 10th grade.
They looked really awesome with mullets.
Oh, oh, oh my
Did
God.
boys wear the sailor
Yes.
hats or did just girls wear the sailor hats?
No, I think there were a select group of boys who were just very confident in their mullet. They were
Yeah.
probably the same guys that had on the blade sunglasses. You know the ones I'm talking
Mm.
about?
Yep.
The
Yeah.
blade
Wow.
and like the half cut off football jersey and those really tight athletic shorts that laced up the front. Like
Not hugging.
I think they were made by a company called Bike Shorts.
Yeah. I don't.
They
Ugh.
got them free with their football uniforms or something. Like
I
just
don't. I don't. It
horrifying.
was a terrible time in fashion.
It was really bad. But I have just described every boy I had a crush on in high school.
Which makes me wonder, really makes me wonder about you.
Right. It's a good thing I was too shy to talk to anybody. So imagine the number of horrible boyfriends I would have had. Hey, I like
Whew.
you. You're kind of douchey, and look at your lace up pants.
You look like a total douche. Can you
Oh,
imagine in
thank
your
God.
tube socks?
Oh my God. Oh,
Imagine these guys showing up to meet daddy. Oh my.
oh my God. And I was wearing super high waisted shorts with pleats in the front. It was a great
Oh
look
yeah.
for me. Oh, and obviously a sweater.
Yeah, why not? Why weren't you going to wear sweaters? 80 degrees outside
It's
with
May.
100% humidity.
Because
Yeah.
why wouldn't we?
Yeah. I don't remember really matching outfits. Like I think I went with somebody in grade school one time that we matched outfits, and I think they were like the biker shorts that had the
Mm,
stripe up the side and a tank top
yes.
that matched the biker shorts. That's what I remember. I don't know who I went with. I Because I don't really remember going to Kennywood with anyone until I got older because I didn't ride
Because
anything.
people would expect you to ride things at Kennywood.
Yeah. And I didn't succumb to peer pressure. I didn't give a fuck what they said. I wasn't dying on a roller coaster. So I just wanted to ride the kangaroo all day, and my mom would ride it with me, and she would walk me around and buy me all the food.
Nita was your Kennywood date.
Yeah.
I would go with Nita and with you, and I would walk around, and then I would constantly ask when our dad was getting there. When is Daddy getting here? When is it time? It feels like it's almost 4:00. Do you think he's on his way? Can he come early? Can you call him? Can he come early?
Yeah.
Can you go to one of these Kennywood dirty ass payphones, dial his work phone number down in the basement of the steel mill?
Ask for Willie.
See if Willie is available. Ask him if he can come over here early. Because then somebody would ride with me. Like, I would have somebody to ride with. And I think, like, when did we start venturing off on our own? I feel like that was like 5th grade. We were maybe 10.
I was thinking like 10, 11, maybe.
Because you would have a friend you would go with. And
100% sure.
Again, I was like, hey, we're going to go
with any friends. So I just hung out with Mommy the whole time until I was in junior high and made other friends who were cool with me walking around with them. I was just the odd person.
I'll just wait here for you guys.
Sit on the bench. I'd go get a corn dog.
I've had 19 corn dogs.
I was even afraid of going in Noah's Ark because of that last thing you had to walk through.
The spinny thing?
Yeah.
Oof. It was just a walkway.
I went, but it wasn't fun for me. That was the one thing I do. But
so I will say this. If you're not from Pittsburgh, go to kennywood.com and look up what Noah's Ark is. So in like the 1920s, this was a cutting edge ride. Like, it had bouncy floors.
If you can catch any documentaries, I don't know. I guess around here there wouldn't be. Like, not around here. Like, the documentaries are always on QED.
Who was the guy from QED? Rick Seebeck.
I can't remember. Yeah. You have to watch the Kennywood documentaries. Yeah, they're fantastic.
They're on YouTube. And for those of you guys who are interested, this is Chris hopping in just to give you guys a clue. There's a link to that YouTube video in the show notes. It's a half an hour long, and it is literally everything we've just talked about. It is a video from 1988 at Kennywood. You have to go and check it out. It's amazing. All right, back to the show.
Oh, there you go. YouTube. Go to the tubes and check them out.
They did. He followed around a couple of the maintenance workers, and one of them is named Gino. And he slips on a slippy, greasy roller coaster.
Because we're talking about Pittsburgh.
Greasy roller coaster. And the other maintenance worker goes, "Oh, you all right?" So that was like a catchphrase for me and David for a while. I would trip and he'd be like, "You all right?"
I'm going to have to watch it.
It was good. I highly recommend it. So again, people that aren't from around here, Kennywood Park is a classic old amusement park from the 20s. And it is changed and evolved. At one point, it had the world's fastest roller coaster, the Steel Phantom. And then they had to change that because one of two reasons, I think I've heard. Either people were having severe neck and ear pain while they were on it, or having the world's fastest roller coaster was just bringing too many people into the tiny amusement park, and they couldn't handle all of the people. So
I'm going to go with
they had to change it. I don't know. My ears did hurt real bad. I lost an earring on there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm going with option A because everybody after they got off, it was all, ugh. And I couldn't, right. I was like, why? I don't understand what you fuckers are going on there.
We're dumb. Dumb.
Remember the laser loop? Just looking at the laser loop made me want to vomit.
It was the best. It was the dumb, like, comparatively speaking, like having been to Disney and Universal, where there's a theme to everything. This was literally a 4-second ride where you got shot out, you went through a loop, and then you went through it backwards, and then you stopped, and that was it.
You're done.
that was it.
Dumbest ride ever, and the line was always ridiculously long.
Right, it was the biggest draw in the park for years.
The laser loop.
Oh,
Yeah,
and it
and the
was,
ship. I think the pirate ship was the
oh,
worst. It was my biggest no, I will never go on the pirate ship.
I
Because the
became
time
a
I go
mom.
on it, it's gonna swing all around. I know it.
It won't. But
I
after I had
know.
Olivia, I was so excited to take her on it. I'm like, this is going to be so fun. And then we got on it, and for some reason, like something happened in my brain, inner
Mhm.
ear, maybe. And I was so sick when we got off of the pirate ship that I could barely walk. And she was like, that was great. Let's do it again. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
No.
do you want to ride the
Ooh,
bumper cars?
I'm gonna interject with an Idlewild story talking about
Oh,
Liv.
no. All right. So again, Idlewild, another classic amusement park located just outside Pittsburgh, more geared more towards the kiddies. There's Storybook
Babies.
Forest, right? Babies. So we took the babies when they were babies. Off you go. Tell your
Yeah.
story.
Liv, I don't know. Liv was like 7, maybe? Owen was a couple years old. I'm not sure. But they have that spinny thing. What's the name of it? It looks like a big spider.
The Monongahela Monster is what we called
Is
it.
that what it was at Kennywood? So it's
Mm-hmm.
all these legs that come out and they all spin around. They all move in different directions. And the little car that you're in just spins constantly.
Fun. Good
Was
times.
just terrible. It's like my hands are sweating just talking about it. And I don't know why. Like I thought, all right, if Liv's gonna go, like she wants me to go, I'm gonna go with her. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
You're fun, Aunt Sarah.
Legit cried.
I think I remember hearing crying, and I was like,
Yeah,
that
I was,
is Olivia
and not
crying? No.
not crying like, oh, this is bad. Like crying
I
huge
went
tears. Like, and
off.
make it stop, Olivia, make it stop.
I'm a baby, like maybe 2 or 3, just tall enough to start riding rides at like little kiddie land.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Jumbo is in charge of me for a moment. I don't know where Nita was, but Jumbo
Taking
puts me
care
on
of me.
the,
I was crying about something.
the
Oh no, I wasn't even there.
you weren't born yet. She was buying a pizza for us to eat. We'll go with that. So Jumbo puts me on the tiny baby Ferris wheel. And the tiny baby Ferris wheel is maybe like 8 feet high. And it's got little teeny cars for little teeny kids. And Jumbo puts me in there and they lock me in like a cage. There's no seatbelt. I could just freely roam around the car while it's in motion. Off you go. And it's going around. And the Ferris wheel, you got to stop every once in a while and let the kid off and let the kid on. So it takes forever. And as I'm getting closer to the top, Jumbo hears squealing from my car. Squealing. And he was like, you got to stop it. You got to stop it. I got to get her off. I have to get her off. So the guy, the poor kid that's working there, stops it. And they open the door. And I'm sitting there like a good kid, just laughing, having the best time. Just squealing with delight, not terror.
Squealing with
So
delight.
there you go. That's
Yeah.
2 different
Yeah.
experiences. I was 3 and you were what when this happened with Liv? Like 36.
30 something. Yeah, definitely in my 30s. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't like the
Hysterical.
roller coasters. Don't like the roller coasters. Anyway, back to
Good
Kennywood.
times. Back to Kennywood. Yeah. And there was always like the cotton candy guy on the way out.
The cotton
And
candy, like you had to get your flour, your tissue flour that we've talked about before. And there
right,
were
we've seen
always
them.
like things that light up. What lit up? What do we have that lit up?
Various things that lit up. That wasn't like not too much when I was little. Because I remember being like, what the fuck is so stupid? Why would you need
Right.
a
You just
flashlight?
have to carry that. Dumb.
Oh my God, no, I'm just going to get this cotton candy because my teeth are definitely going to rot out of my head on the way home.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. It was so much
And then
fun.
you would beg one more ride. Can we ride the turnpike? Can we ride the one more ride? One more ride. One more ride. I would.
I would
You
do the
wouldn't.
turnpike.
You'd be like, let's go.
Yeah, I'd be ready to get the fuck out.
Also, my favorite Kennywood ride of all time had to be the rotor. Do you remember the rotor? It was the one that was like
spun around that you got stuck.
you got stuck to the wall and then the floor would drop out. Not to be
Yeah, you made me
confused with the upside with the there was one where you stood and held on to you were in your own little cage, very secure with one very loose chain in front of you. No worries. No, everyone's fine.
Terrible.
I don't know how we didn't die. Yes, but the rotor is the one where where it would just stick you to the outsides of this cylinder.
I wanted someone to record it so I could see what my boobs look like.
Oh God, I didn't even think about it. Just off to the side. Just
who knew that's what they would look like later in life when I lay down.
everybody knew that. That was my favorite. And then if you were like a rebel, you would pick your feet up and put your soles of your feet like flat and bend your knees. And then the guy would be like, please put your feet down. Yeah, definitely did it. One kid spun all the way around. The guy running the ride almost had a heart attack. This dude was upside down. The guy didn't stop the ride or anything. He just yelled at him.
Yeah, seems fair. Seems fair.
All right, so that is legit Kennywood stories. If you guys haven't checked out Kennywood.com already, just go immediately and look at it. It is the stuff of nostalgia. Throwing the baseballs and seeing how fast they would go.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I was going to say, I still can't believe that the Thunderbolt is still going.
And the Jackrabbit.
It's literally made of toothpicks.
It is. 80% of the coasters are from before 1950.
It's like riding the incline. That shit's old. It's going to break. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I'm calling it right now.
It's fine. Don't be such a baby. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Also the shooting gallery where you would put a quarter in and you could shoot the guy in the butt and he would play the piano.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
Right. There were good times.
There were.
The little duck game where you would just pick a duck and they would give you a prize.
I spent most of my time there.
Here's my duck.
You didn't have to really be talented. I would stand there. I guarantee I would stand there and just pick up the ducks while mommy stood behind me smoking cigarettes.
Handing you dollars. Here you go. Look what I won.
It was the best. Wow. Mommy was the best Kennywood partner ever.
Just annoyed the whole time. These kids. Yeah. Where's your father? And poor Jumbo, he worked all day in the steel mill and it was 187 degrees there. And he would get there and it would just a constant barrage. Dad, what do we ride next? We wouldn't even be in line for the ride. Like, hey, can we go on the parachutes? Can we go on the parachutes? Can we go on the parachutes? I don't want to ride the merry-go-round, but can we go on the parachutes and then we can go on the kangaroo? Yeah, I don't know why no one figured out I had attention deficit problems. Seems like obvious now. Looking back. Right. And then when we're done, can we get an ice cream? Can we get the ice cream that you dip and it'll definitely melt before my little mouth can eat all of that? And then I'll be sticky all day. Can we do that?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. All right. We're done. Now we're done. All right. Let's talk about Atomic Habits. So since it's been a minute, so let's just recap some of the fundamentals. So some of the stuff we were talking about, fundamentals for the Atomic Habits, was the fact that these are strategies for becoming the person that you want to be. So looking at changing tiny things about what you're doing and how you're approaching your life, but doing that in a way that's based not on outcomes, not on saying, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, or hey, I want to do a chin up. It's changing that kind of outcome-based habits or values or whatever we're calling these things, changing those things to identity-based. Like, I am a healthy person, so I make healthy decisions. I am a person that does yoga, so I decide to go to yoga every day, even though today I didn't, because I'm going to blame the post-vacation depression and the fact that I've been in habit mode, so I didn't do the things that would make it easy for me to go to yoga. So looking at basing these changes and moving the dial of your life, so to speak, to the person that you want to be, to the value that you want to line up with. So instead of saying, I want to quit smoking, having the value of, hey, I want to be a healthy person. I don't want to be a person that runs out of breath as I walk up the stairs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that is like the most fundamental stuff that I took from that first couple of chapters, and tying it back into looking at the Fox book and saying, yeah, I should live life according to my values and not give a fuck about things that don't line up with my values, except for that it's hard to figure out what my values are. But when I start thinking about it according to my identity, this is when I start thinking about, who do I want to be as a person? I want to be somebody that's reliable. I want to be someone with integrity. Then these values guide how I can look at my life and change it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think the last time we were talking about it being a good employee, having some leadership qualities and doing those kinds of things, and then identifying what you do now and look at your habits. So, do I have the habits of someone who's a good leader? Do I have the habits of someone who is just showing up to get a paycheck most of the time? And how do I identify what habits are driving those behaviors and what habits I want to change to be something else? So, I think that as we get into chapter 3 and chapter 4, a lot of what he's talking about, particularly at the beginning of chapter 3, I think chapter four, maybe 3. I don't know. Habit scorecards is what I was trying to go for. Is
okay.
the
That's
way
in chapter 5.
Chapter 5 is looking at a habit scorecard and saying, these are the characteristics I want to have. I want to be somebody with integrity. I want to be someone that has those leadership qualities. I want to be someone who's healthy. And starting with a habit scorecard, I think is a way to nail down, hey, this is the shit that I'm doing now. This is how I go through my day every day. And these are the things that I need to either get rid of or things that I need to add in. And then I think the rest of it goes into making it obvious, making it attractive, making it easier, making it satisfying. So identifying things you want to add in and going through the process of each of those things to build that habit.
The habit scorecard is actually in chapter 4. If anyone is actually reading the book with us, it is in chapter 4. And basically what it is, you make a list of all of your daily habits. So like in the book, his sample here is wake up, turn off alarm, brush teeth, floss teeth, check my phone, put on deodorant, go to the bathroom. So it seems, this fucking shit. Like it's all stupid shit I do every day. But that's the point of it. Like you want to track every single thing that you do because these are all the habits that you're already in. These are the things that you're doing all day. And then once you have that list, you want to score them. So you give them either an equal sign, which is a neutral habit. It's neither good or bad. And then you have a negative and a positive, which are self-explanatory. So like in his example, wake up is an equal. I'm going to wake up. Turn off alarm. It's an
making
equal.
Making
turds. That's what I'm putting on my list. I can't wait. Brush my teeth is a positive. Floss my teeth is a positive. These types of things. And then that helps you whittle down and really identify the bad habits that you have so you can work on those. And my thought on it was because I was like, maybe should I add things in there that I want to do, but I don't do? But I think it's good in this exercise to just stick with what you're doing now, to identify the bad things that you're doing. So you, and work on those first and get those out. Maybe add a little one in as you go. But I think small steps and work on fleshing out a bad habit first, maybe.
I think it's as a veteran of many diets. And I think that you are also the veteran of many diets. The first step any shithead nutritionist will make you do is write down what you're eating. And no offense, nutritionists, you are good people and you are trying to help me. And I understand that. But I'm also tired of writing down the fact that I'm eating French fries all day. 15
Let's
Big
look
Macs.
at this, Sarah. You literally ate nothing but McDonald's all day. Yep. Yeah. It was a good day.
Sure did. Yeah. Enjoyed the hell out of that day. God damn it.
I wonder why you can't lose weight.
And it's 4,000. I don't know why I was 207 pounds.
12,000 calories.
What are you eating? I was like, I had a Big Mac and it was, you know how small they are now, right? So I'd have two.
I had a Big Mac and a 20-piece chicken nugget. And which I've
actually said to a nutritionist. You know how small the Big Macs are now.
The buns are way bigger than the meat that's on there, and the meat is the protein. So I have to get two to make sure I'm getting enough protein.
I had to rebuild it. Makes sense. So I think like the analogy is you just write down all the stuff that you're doing, and then you tie the things that are good back to your personality or your identity based activities, right? Like putting on makeup makes me a happier person because I feel like I look nice.
Right.
Fixing my hair makes it nice because I don't feel like a piece of poo the rest of the day. I'm not saying that's something that everybody has to do, but having makeup on, fixing my hair makes my day go better. It makes me a better employee, a better person all around. Now, the one thing I'm going to have to write down is that I get up, I make coffee. I make sure David has lunch to eat. And then I go back to bed. It's important to me to take care of David so that he keeps doing my laundry.
I
It's
think
a give
that's
and take.
nice. That's very nice.
It is.
That's good.
It's beautiful.
That's nice.
Also, I would put a big plus by that one because, again, no laundry.
Yeah. Works. It works.
But the going back to bed is definitely not helping anybody. That isn't, like, the only person it's helping is that tiny little sleepy gremlin in my head who's like, you don't need to get any work done. Just go back to bed. Yeah. That guy. So I put a big minus by that one. I'm not served very well by that. So I think it's a valuable exercise in that you don't realize, like, I don't realize I'm eating 12,000 calories instead of 40.
And that's what it's all about. It's about identifying them because I don't know about you, but if I just had to sit here and make a list without actually writing them down, like as I'm going along, I would probably leave out a bunch of the bad ones just because I don't really want to pay attention to them. But if we want to change them, we have to give them some energy. We have to acknowledge them and we have to find them. And the way to find them is to do this habits checklist and write them down, get them in front of us, acknowledge it, and then it's time to move from there.
Yeah. And again, I'm just going to remind everybody that it seems really simple. Write down your habits and then do the good ones. Right. Except for that we're people. And if it was literally that easy, then everybody would be leaders at work and everybody would live with a lot of integrity and a lot of intention. And it's not that easy. There are those little gremlins in your head that are like, go back to bed. Go back to bed. You deserve it. You were up late. You didn't sleep well. David woke you up once. Go back to bed. You deserve it. Just like that little gremlin says, you can buy that online. Go ahead.
Right. For sure. I have a lot of gremlins that live in my head.
Same. Everybody
This is going to be a great little project to get them out of my head. So do you want to talk a little bit about chapter 5 or do you want to talk about what we're going to do, giving ourselves some homework and making sure that we're really getting out of these books and these things that we read what our original intention was?
No, let's talk a little bit about chapter 5, because I think what we can say is that once we have this list of habits and once we have, a good solid, and I think both of us needs to pick one kind of identity-based thing that we want to start to change. So I think we get our habits list, we get our one thing, be a healthy person, be a leader at work, be a loving, caring, responsible wife.
I could tell you what mine is already.
What is yours?
I do want to be a healthier person because I've realized at my doctor's appointment, like I've lost this weight and that's great. I still have a little more to lose, but I'm not working out. I'm not really eating enough protein. I'm not really eating enough vegetables. Like I need to step it up in the actual health game of things. Like I'm feeling great because I've lost 8,000 pounds, but there's still more to be done. And I need to start figuring that out. And I really, that's it. I would like to be an actual healthy person and not just
a skinny person.
Yeah. I was making notes. So we want to do our identity thing. And then we also want to do our habit scorecard.
I think for next week, if we have both of those, and I think mine is going to be getting back into being that leadership person network. So I really hope that nobody from my job ever listens to this because it'll be a lot of the fuck was she doing? Right. Just getting by.
But I think it's also important to note that we're taking little steps. And that's why I want to do this because there's a lot of things that I want to be. And this is why I have failed at doing a lot of these things because I get them all in my brain and then they get confused. And then I'm like, I quit everything. So let's just do one thing.
Yep. We're going to pick
Let's focus.
And we're going to look at our habits. We're going to look at, and I think we start tomorrow and we write down, we journal our way through the day. And we're like, oh, why am I online researching what the UK is made of? Why am I looking up the Olympic roster? Why am I looking up like Jerome Bettis' soccer team?
I feel like this is going to be just like Weight Watchers when I first started. And I was like, fuck, I don't even want to write that down.
What did I just
shit.
eat? It's gonna
Why?
be like that. It's gonna be like that.
But I think there's things that it will definitely, there's a lot of good that will come out of just identifying these little things, and a lot of good that will come out of it that doesn't even have to do with that one value that we're identifying. As you're doing little things, there are just other things that will automatically stem from that and get
Right.
better. I think in chapter 5, it talks about the implementation intention strategy,
Yes.
which I think is super, super important because it talks about two of the most important things in developing the habit is a time and a place. So it talks
Yeah.
about being super intentional about what you're going to do. So for me, like my intention, one of the first things I want to do is the first intention I want to have is to wake up at 5:45 and work out at 6, and
Yes.
just start with little things like that. And I'm going to go downstairs and work out at 6 a.m. And so you start with
Right.
little things like that, and then it gets into what he was talking about is the habit stacking. So like another thing that I want to do is start to start to meditate. So maybe I would originally say, all right, so I'm going to meditate for 1 minute, because I got to start small, 1 minute
Right.
at 7 a.m. But then I do the workout thing. So then you can stack that on top of it. So I'm going to work out at 6 a.m. And then when I'm done working out, I'm going to meditate for 1 minute. And then eventually you just keep building and keep building. And that's the whole point of the atomic habits, these small things that can make big changes.
Right. Like the 4, I forget what he calls these things, like the 4 ways you build a habit. What is wrong with my brain? The 4 laws of behavior change is what he calls it. So that first one is make it obvious. So tack it on to something that you're already doing. Like you're saying, I want to meditate. So when I'm done with my workout, I'll meditate for a minute. Like for me, it's really hard for me to take a pill every day because I am like, when you prescribe medication to someone who has attention deficit problems, you might want to give them like a little handout on how to get that shit done.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
drink coffee every day, right? Like I can't do anything until I've had my coffee. So I take my pill when I pour myself my first cup of coffee. And I
Right.
have been pretty successful, except this weekend when we were traveling and I didn't have that cup of coffee, where we were just up and at 'em and running around. And I was like,
Nah.
doing those things where you make it obvious. And we'll get pretty deep into that next week when we start talking about our habit scorecards and identity stuff. And then I think next week, if we come prepared with both of those things and a couple of ideas for how we're going to implement those little changes, then I think we got something. I think we got something.
Yep.
And then also what I want to do is go back and look at how, tie it back to the subtle art of not giving a fuck, of looking at how you shape and understand your values. And like, I think I saw something over the weekend, Mark Manson email, one of those shit emails that comes into our email that isn't fan mail, where he's like, if you don't choose your values, other people will. And
Right. I saw that too.
I think that it's something that we can all kind of work towards, is picking those values. And this is like a really concrete way to get into it.
I like it. I like it.
Yep. And I feel like when we were on vacation, I was like, I'm not doing anything to be a better person right now. I think that's why I was so cranky at the beginning of this, because clearly I had lost the thread a little bit, which again happens.
I think I did too. Like, I think just having the day off yesterday, I can tell you that was a huge thing for me. And I took it off because I thought we'd be coming home later on Sunday. I'm not sure. But anyway, I had some other stuff that I had to take care of that I didn't realize for Owen's school. And I was able to get that done. And I feel like by getting shit done yesterday, it made today so much better. And like getting up today and knowing I just had to focus on my inbox and work, and I didn't have to worry about my personal inbox because I took care of all of that yesterday. That helped with my Zen.
I'm glad. Hello, kitty.
And I feel like that was missing last week.
Like
even though I had a blast.
Yeah, I think like we were talking about last week, you got to take a step back and let your brain breathe a little bit. And I think that because we did that, I know at least for work, because I did that, I was really able to come back at it, and I made a very detailed, as I was going through my 200 emails, I made little action plans for everything in there, and it felt like I had accomplished more yesterday or Monday than I had in a month of Sundays. So yeah, I
That's
think there is
exactly how I
something to
felt
be
today.
said back, but there's also something to
Mhm.
be said for picking up,
Coming back to it.
like picking up that thread again and being like, oh yeah, now I remember why we're doing this podcast. This isn't a complete waste of time. This is to
Right.
help me deal with some of the shit that drives me crazy in my own life. All right, I think that's it.
Okay. You're going to have some to cut out. So I don't know. It might be a little bit of a shorter one.
Yeah, there's
I
a
don't.
that. So I was editing the interview with Jackie and Ed, and it was an hour
Mhm.
and 48 minutes, and I took out all the ums and the blank spaces, and then it was an hour
Yeah.
and 36 minutes.
Perfect. That's awesome.
12 minutes of us going.
That's all right.
That's why they have the AI tool, so I don't have to go through
Yeah.
and find every.
Yay, AI.
All right, I am going to go help my husband do landscaping or whatever.
There's something cooking in my house. So I would like to go see what it is.
Oh, I bet it's delicious. I think we're going to go to a bar for Taco Tuesday after I'm done landscaping.
I'm so jealous of you. And me being the asshole that I am, I'm like, at 6 o'clock, you have to do landscaping and then go to the bar? Wrong. It's way late for that shit.
The bar is
Way
just for
late.
eating, though. It's not for hanging out. It's not because it's
Now I
Wednesday.
really want tacos. Damn it.
Somebody said it
Okay.
earlier today, and I was like, yeah, Taco Tuesday with the
I wish
hard
there was a
shell,
bar
not the
around here
soft
that
one.
had, yeah. Yeah, you always have to get the hard one.
That's what your mom
Yep.
likes.
Yep.
All right, I think we can end there.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.